Today we are tackling a silent project killer, ambiguity. We're going to talk about how you move a team from the total chaos of mismatched skills and missing equipment to the absolute clarity of a well-oiled machine. Let's dive in. Oh, you know the feeling, right? You've got two people working on the exact same thing, while some other critical task is just completely ignored. Or you desperately need a decision, but the person you thought was the boss just kind of shrugs and points to someone else. It is an absolute classic, and man is it frustrating. And look, this isn't just a string of bad luck, it's a symptom of a much deeper issue. These are the direct results of not planning your resources from the get-go. But the good news? There's a proven way to prevent all of this from ever happening in the first place. And that solution is a really structured process called project resource management. You should think of it like the blueprint for a house. You've never started building without one, right? This blueprint makes sure every single brick and every single builder has a specific place. So what is it really? Well, at its core, project resource management is the whole shebang. It isn't just about getting people and laptops, it's about the entire life cycle. From figuring out what you need, to actually getting it, using it well, and even planning for what happens when the project is over. The whole journey has 6 key steps. You've got plan, estimate, acquire, develop, manage, and control. And while, yeah, they're all super important, everything, and I mean everything, flows from that very first one, planning. If you get the plan right, the other 5 steps get so much easier. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Okay, so where do we even begin with planning? Well, first, we've got to understand what we're actually managing. Because, not all resources are created equal. They basically fall into 2 big categories. On the one hand, you have your physical resources. That's the tangible stuff, like equipment, software licenses, or even the office space itself. But on the other hand, and this is where it gets way more complex, you have your team resources, your people. Managing a warehouse of computers is one thing. Leading and motivating a team of creative, complicated humans, that's a whole different ballgame. So how do we actually manage those team resources and avoid all that confusion we talked about? Well, smart project managers have a specific toolkit they rely on. These are the charts and documents that turn that messy ambiguity into assignments that are super clear and actionable. This quote right here really hits the nail on the head. The main goal, the whole point, is that every single piece of work has one and only one clear owner. No more finger pointing, no more, I thought she was doing that. Everyone on the team should be able to look at the plan and know exactly what they're on the hook for. So how do you document all this? Well, you've got 2 main choices. Hierarchical charts, like a classic org chart, are awesome for showing the big picture, who reports to whom. But when you need to get into the nitty-gritty details, like specific duties and qualifications, that's when a text-oriented format is way more useful. Now, one of the most powerful tools in this entire toolkit is something called a Responsibility Assignment Matrix, or RAM for short. And you've probably heard of its most popular version. It's a real game changer, the RACI chart. It's such a simple grid, but it is incredibly effective at mapping people to their tasks. Let's just break this down real quick. R is for responsible. That's the person who is actually doing the work. A is for accountable. This is the single person whose neck is on the line, the ultimate owner. C is for consulted. These are the experts you pull in for their opinion. And I is for informed, the people who just need a heads up on what's going on. Now, look closely. For any task, there should only be one A. That single point of accountability, that is the secret sauce for clarity. Okay, pop quiz time. Let's imagine this exact scenario. A project is hitting delays because nobody is sure who has the final say on a key activity. Based on what we've just talked about, which one of these tools is specifically designed to prevent that exact problem? So here are your options. Take a second, think about which one directly solves the problem of who is ultimately in charge. And the answer is D, the RACI chart. It's that magic letter A for accountable that solves everything. By assigning one and only one person as accountable, the RACI chart just completely vaporizes any confusion about who calls the shots. And poof, those delays are gone. Now, beyond just charts and grids, there's another really powerful technique, understanding a little bit about organizational theory. Now, this isn't about tools, it's about people. It's about the psychology of teamwork. By understanding how individuals and groups actually behave, a PM can create a plan that's way more realistic and efficient, which ends up saving a ton of time and money. Okay, so you've used all these awesome tools and techniques, you've done your planning homework. What's the payoff? What do you actually have in your hands at the end of the day? Let's look at the real, tangible things you get from this process. You end up with a complete resource management plan. This thing is your project's Bible. It's your guide to everything from roles and responsibilities to how you'll develop your team. It even includes a recognition plan. Because, let's be honest, acknowledging great work is absolutely critical for keeping morale high. And a huge piece of this is the staffing management plan. This maps out the entire journey of a team member on your project, how you'll bring them on board, how you'll help them grow while they're with you, and, just as important, what the plan is for when their part is done and they're released back to other work. Another really cool output is a visual tool like this, a resource histogram. It's just a simple bar chart that shows you how much of a resource, say a developer's time, you need week by week. You can see at a glance, whoa, week 2 looks insane, we might need some help. It lets you spot and fix potential burnout before it even becomes a problem. And finally, you get the resource calendar. This is where the rubber really meets the road. It's a practical, day-to-day schedule that tells you exactly when each person or piece of equipment is actually available, factoring in things like holidays, weekends, you name it. It makes sure your grand plan is actually based in reality. So, let's bring it all home. What's the one big idea you should walk away with? It's the incredible power of being proactive. This whole thing is about deliberately moving your project out of that danger zone of chaos and into a state of absolute, beautiful clarity. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought exercise. Picture this. You're in the middle of a super critical week, and a manager from another department comes and poaches your lead developer for their own urgent project. It's a classic resource war. Based on everything we've talked about, how does a good plan give you the power to solve this? Because here's the thing. The answer lies in the clarity you've already built. A great resource management plan doesn't just prevent problems. It gives you the framework and, frankly, the authority to solve them when they pop up. It's not just some document that sits in a folder. It's your roadmap for navigating the real-world complexities of any project and leading your team all the way from chaos to clarity. Today,